If you're here, something in you is already shifting a quiet tug toward clarity hidden beneath the noise of daily life. You might not know exactly what you're seeking, but you feel it, a certain restlessness, an unspoken question hovering just out of reach. You're not alone. The ancient philosopher Socrates understood this feeling better than anyone. He revealed secrets, or rather, he showed away a method that many professionals, leaders, and seekers still harness today, often without realizing its origin. Think about the last time you felt truly stuck. Maybe it was at work, or in a relationship, or just inside your own thoughts. You were overwhelmed by options, or paralyzed by uncertainty, or trapped by what you thought you had to be. Socrates, over 2,000 years ago, faced the same challenge: how to navigate complexity, doubt, and the ever-persistent human urge for certainty. His answer wasn't a set of rules. It was a process, a question-driven path to insight. Let me share this with you, not as a lecture, but as a conversation between equals. I want to tell you what to do. I'll help you see what is already happening inside you, through the lens of Socrates' timeless approach. SFX, soft_and_chime. 3. You might think the wisest person is the one who has all the answers. But Socrates famously claimed he knew nothing except that he knew nothing. Paradoxically, this acknowledgement of ignorance is the first secret professionals use: humility. Not an empty humility that shrinks, but a curious humility that opens. This is the soil from which real understanding grows. Ask yourself, when was the last time you admitted you were wrong or unsure? When have you allowed your mind to roam freely, unafraid of the unknown? Often, we cling to certainty like a life raft, even when it's sinking. Professionals who thrive don't hide from uncertainty. They welcome it as a signal of learning underway. SFX, soft_clock_tick. 2. But how does this look in practice? Socrates developed a practice now known as the Socratic method, a form of questioning that strips away assumptions, revealing the roots beneath our beliefs. Imagine peeling back layers of an onion, not to discard it, but to understand its essence better. Try this with yourself. Pick a belief or worry you hold tightly. Now ask, why do I believe this? What evidence do I have? Could the opposite be true? What am I not seeing because of this belief? Let your mind wander through these questions gently, like a traveler exploring new terrain without a map. Notice how the questions open space rather than close it. Most people seek answers too quickly, aiming to resolve discomfort and end the conversation. Professionals who excel resist that urge. They know the value lies in sustained inquiry and discomfort, because that's where transformation begins. SFX, pages_turning_slowly. 3. What if the obstacle isn't external, not the situation? Not the other person, but something within you? Socrates believed the unexamined life is not worth living. This examination isn't a judgment, but a tender exploration of self. Reflect now. What part of you do you avoid? What emotions, thoughts, or truths do you push aside because engaging them feels risky or unsettling? The Socratic process turns these shadows into allies. By asking questions, you invite those parts into the light without forcing answers. You see, Socrates employed irony, a gentle, almost playful form of challenge. When someone approached him confidently, sure they held the ultimate truth, he would feign ignorance. Not to mock, but to invite reconsideration. This irony is a powerful tool professionals use to dismantle ego and reveal blind spots. Consider how irony works in your life. Are there moments when your certainty becomes a barrier rather than a bridge? When a stubborn conviction freezes your growth? SFX, deep_with_inhale. 2. Let us step together into the next layer of this method, guided self-discovery. Imagine a mentor gently probing, not with solutions, but with questions that lead you deeper into your own wisdom. Ask yourself, what if the resistance you feel is a form of protection, What if your discomfort is the mind's way of signaling growth, not failure? What if the problem you try to fix is actually an invitation to evolve? Many professionals, from therapists to innovators, practice this art daily. They don't tell clients or colleagues what to do, but help them articulate their inner contradictions and hidden resources through dialogue. This reflective process nurtures autonomy and resilience. SFX, soft_falling. For here is a thought that might surprise you. The best insights often appear not in triumphant declarations, but in questions left hanging. Socrates didn't pursue certainty. He pursued clarity, knowing that clarity is dynamic, not fixed. What if you too allowed yourself to live in the tension between questions rather than rushing to answers? What if you viewed life as a series of questions to be explored thoughtfully, rather than problems to be solved hastily? This mindset transforms failure from a dead end into a feedback loop, and ambiguity from a threat into fertile ground. Such a reframe is more than a cognitive trick. It's a shift in how you relate to yourself and the world. It's empathy turned inward, viewing your inner dialogue as a conversation rather than a battleground. SFX, heartbeat_soft. 3. This brings me to another closely guarded secret: the power of conversation itself. Socrates taught that truth emerges not in isolation, but through dialogue. Professionals who master their craft become masters of conversations, not speaking over others, but listening deeply and questioning kindly. Ask yourself, how do your conversations nurture your growth? Do they challenge your mind or just confirm your biases? Do they allow space for vulnerability or do they demand performance? Socrates would remind us that sometimes the most powerful step is simply to pause, listen, and be present with uncertainty. SFX, quiet_nature. 3. Now, consider that the wisdom you seek outside already lives inside, waiting to be uncovered beneath assumptions and noise. You are both the questioner and the respondent in this profound dialogue. When you practice the Socratic method, asking honest questions with humility and openness, you activate the part of yourself that knows how to navigate complexity with grace. This ancient practice, carried through centuries, is not just a philosophical relic. It's a living tool used daily by professionals in psychotherapy, leadership, education, and beyond to unlock transformation. SFX, crackling_fire. So now, I leave you with this question. What secret waiting inside your own mind will you choose to explore today? What quiet curiosity will you honor, even if the answer isn't clear yet? If you're here, something is already shifting. That's the beginning. Listen for it. What will you ask yourself next? Let us deepen this journey a bit further. Notice how often you seek certainty as a form of control, like grabbing a handful of sand, hoping it will stay put in your fingers. But Socrates teaches that true control is not about holding tightly. It's about understanding the texture of the sand, the way it slips and flows through your mind and hands. Consider how many professionals resist uncertainty, striving to map every outcome before moving forward, only to find themselves immobilized. What if the secret they silently cultivate is patience with ambiguity? What if they develop an intimacy with the unknown that feels less like danger and more like possibility? Ask yourself, how do I relate to what I do not yet know? Am I willing to inhabit that space without rushing for conclusions? Sometimes, the most profound transformations occur in that in-between moment, in the tension of not knowing. SFX, water_drip_slow. 3. It's easy to mistake knowledge for wisdom. Yet Socrates would nudge you to see the difference. Knowledge is a collection of facts. Wisdom is the art of living those facts with insight and humility. Professionals who excel combine both. They accumulate expertise, but never stop questioning what it truly means. Here is another nugget to consider. Socrates believed that the soul's health depends on its capacity to question itself. This self-examination is not a one-time event, but a continual practice. Like sharpening a blade, it requires consistent effort, gentle persistence. You might feel the weight of this responsibility. Facing yourself again and again can feel exhausting. Yet it's through this process that your identity begins to shift from a fixed story into a living narrative, adaptable, rich, and resonant. SFX, leave_Sungakor gently. For imagine now a professional setting a meeting, a negotiation, a difficult conversation. What if you approached it with a Socratic mindset? Instead of aiming to win or convince, you asked open-ended questions that invite the other person to reflect. You listen not to respond, but to understand. Notice the shift this simple act creates. Suddenly, dialogue becomes a co-creative space rather than a battleground. Professionals who learn this secret don't just manage situations, they transform them. You might be wondering, is this practical? Can it really work in high-stakes environments? The answer lies in seeing communication not as transmission, but as exploration. A well-placed question can disarm defensiveness and invite collaboration. SFX, soft_tapping_wood, 3 now. Turn this inward again. How do you speak to yourself in moments of stress or failure? Is your internal dialogue harsh and commanding, or curious and soothing? Socrates urges us to become mindful of this inner voice, for it's the foundation of our self-concept. Ask yourself, what would happen if, like a compassionate mentor, I questioned my harsh judgments with genuine curiosity? If a mistake wasn't evidence of failure, but a signal to ask, what can I learn from this? The professionals who embody this habit are less bound by fear and more guided by curiosity. They don't avoid discomfort, but use it as a compass. SFX, wind_core trees. For another secret woven into Socrates' teachings is recognizing the limitation of language itself. Words are useful, but they are shadows of reality, not the reality itself. The gap between experience and expression can create confusion. Think of moments when you tried to explain something important, but felt words fall short. This tension is a humbling reminder that understanding is often beyond the reach of language, but not beyond the reach of presence and question. What if you allowed silence and reflection to have their space? Rather than rushing to fill every gap with explanation, this quiet permission can be a powerful tool professionals use, cultivating patience and deep insight. SFX, quiet_ocean_waves, for sometimes. People ask Socrates or those inspired by him, if you don't give answers, what good does questioning do? The answer lies in empowerment. Questions return power to the individual. They spark internal dialogue, agency, and unfolding awareness that no external answer can provide. You, too, can claim this power by cultivating a questioning mind without needing immediate answers. There's freedom in not having to resolve everything at once. Now, think back to your earliest assumptions about yourself and the world. How many were handed down unexamined? Socrates would invite you to a philosophical audit, gently reviewing those inherited beliefs and asking, do these still serve me? Which ones am I ready to release? SFX, fire_crackle_soft. 3. Let us talk briefly about fear, often the hidden partner of certainty. Professionals navigate fear daily. Fear of failure, rejection, the unknown. Socrates showed that fear diminishes in the face of honest inquiry. What if fear isn't a barrier, but a doorway? What if asking precise, humble questions about what scares you loosens its grip? Focusing not on controlling fear, but understanding it can turn anxiety into insight. SFX, heartbeat_steady. 3. And so, embedded deep within Socrates' legacy is the reminder that every professional challenge, every personal conflict, is an invitation to self-examination, to lead, to innovate. To heal, such acts rest on the foundation of knowing oneself through questioning. Before I leave you, consider this. What if the next great step in your life, isn't about finding the perfect answer, but about perfecting your questions. What if the real mastery lies in your willingness to remain a student, curious, courageous, open? The path is not linear or neat. It twists and folds like a river carving through stone. You might stumble, you might miss the way. Yet with each question you ask mindfully, you carve new channels of understanding. SFX, river_flowing_gently. 5I1T tell you what to do with this knowledge. I'll only say this. The Socratic secrets professionals use are not secrets at all. They are invitations to live with intention, humility, and a restless openness. If you're here right now, it means you're already stepping onto this ancient path. What questions will guide your steps? Which parts of yourself will you invite into the conversation today? Let this be the start of a lifelong dialogue, not with me, not with others, but with your own ever-evolving self. SFX, distant_soft. 3, and remember, the unexamined life is never static. It pulses, breathes, grows. What will you ask next? SFX, soft_.